If you were hoping Samsung would hold the line on prices again with the Galaxy S26, I've got some bad news. This time, a price hike might actually happen. And unlike last year's false alarm with the S25 series, there's a much stronger reason for it now. Rising chip costs from TSMC, the company that manufactures the Snapdragon processors inside Galaxy phones. That might sound like a boring, behind-the-scenes detail, but it's actually a big deal. Because if Samsung decides to stick with Qualcomm chips and pass those higher costs on to us, we could see prices climb by $50 to $100 across the board. And with flagship phones already flirting with four-figure price tags, even a small bump makes a noticeable difference. Here's where things get interesting, though. Samsung still has options. They could absorb the extra costs themselves or lean more heavily on their own Exynos chips in certain markets to keep prices stable. They managed to surprise everyone earlier this year by not raising prices on the Galaxy S25 lineup, even though everyone expected they would. So there's a chance they could pull the same trick again, but the pressure is definitely on this time. Right now, the Galaxy S26 series is shaping up to include a few familiar names and possibly a new one. The standard model, which some rumors say could carry a Pro badge this time, though that's still up in the air, will be joined by the S26 Ultra, the big flagship powerhouse. The confusing part is the middle of the lineup. For months, it looked like Samsung was killing off the Plus model in favor of a slimmer Edge variant. But now, new leaks claimed the Plus might not be going anywhere. If that's true, we could see both the Plus and Edge sitting side by side in the lineup. So what might they cost? With no reliable leaks yet, the safest assumption is that Samsung could keep pricing roughly where it was for the S25 series, unless that chip cost pressure wins out. If that happens, add about $50 to $100 to what we saw this year. That would put the base Galaxy S26 in the ballpark of $799, the S26 Plus or Edge near $999, and the S26 Ultra somewhere around $1,199. Those numbers might look familiar because they're right in line with Apple and Google's current flagship pricing. And speaking of the competition, both of those companies just held prices steady on their latest releases. The iPhone 17 lineup starts at $799 for the base model, $999 for the iPhone Air, $1,199 for the Pro, and $1,299 for the Pro Max, though Apple did quietly make the Pro more expensive by bumping its base storage to 256 gigabytes. Google followed suit with the Pixel 10 series, also holding prices steady at $799 for the base model and $999 for the Pro. But here's a fun twist. The Pixel 10 technically costs more than the iPhone 17 because it still starts at just 128 gigabytes of storage. Samsung knows this context matters. If they push prices too high, they risk making the S26 series look less appealing next to those rivals, especially if they don't add meaningful upgrades. And that's why some analysts think Samsung will try to hold the line again, even if it means sacrificing some profit margin. No matter where the final numbers land, the reality is that the Galaxy S26 series is going to be expensive, but Samsung does soften the blow with some pretty aggressive offers at launch. Trade-in deals, carrier promotions, and installment plans are all standard practice now, and they can knock hundreds off the price if you time it right. And if you're already thinking about upgrading, the pre-order window is often the best time to do it. Samsung has a habit of throwing in free storage upgrades or other perks if you buy early. The truth is, we're still a few months out from the expected January 2026 launch, and that's when the real leaks usually start. It's not uncommon for retailers to accidentally list prices early, or for insiders to share details in the final weeks before launch. Until that happens, all we can do is read the tea leaves. And right now, they're hinting at least the possibility of a bump. If you want my take, I don't think Samsung will raise prices significantly, if at all. Matching or undercutting Apple and Google has always been their flagship strategy, and going noticeably higher could turn buyers away. A $50 bump might be possible, but a bigger jump seems risky unless Samsung brings something truly game-changing to the table. Still, chip prices are a real wild card here, and that's why the S26 series feels a little less predictable than usual. Whether Samsung absorbs the cost, switches to Exynos, or accepts a higher sticker price, one thing's for sure, This launch is going to tell us a lot about how smartphone makers handle rising costs in 2026. And if you're planning on upgrading, it might be worth paying close attention, because a few months from now, we'll finally know if Samsung stuck to its pricing playbook or decided to rewrite it. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section. See you in the next video. Take care.